Honorable. Welcome again to another episode of Senate House podcast.
Thanks,
And
Honorable.
hello, viewers. Thank you again for joining us for this episode. And without taking much of your time, we would like to introduce you to the topic that want to discuss this in this section.
Mhm.
It's about a young man. I think this happened in Abia State or thereabout,
Mm,
where a young man was. I think it has to do with courtism and in the university.
mm.
So let me share that with our viewers. You know, and if you look at the screen, you see this young man was. I think the video is a little bit gory, so we're not going to um, show that.
Mm.
So, Honorable, what is your take in this? Our young kids going to the university.
Honorable,
Uh, mm,
honestly, this is another very disappointing news because I look at the young man.
mm,
This guy, I'm thinking maybe not. I don't know how old he is, but he looks quite young. He looks like he'll be maybe bata early 20s. When I say early 20s, like 21, thereabout.
yeah.
Yeah. And already this life has been wasted just like that. It's disappointing, to say the least. It's disappointing. It's
It's
disappointing.
just like you said, it's a very, very disappointing situation because I don't know what gets into our young people heads when they are going to university. I think one of the driving force of this cultism is trying to belong to where you can feel protected,
Mm,
or maybe where you can bully others and get away with it.
Bernie.
So I think if you put it generally, um, maybe to summarize the whole ambition of a young boy wanting to join court
Mm.
is because of that person want power.
That's pretty much one of the reasons. I remember in my
Yeah.
own university days, I remember being a first year student back
Mm,
home then in Nnamdi Azikiwe University. I remember that on just a few days during school, I remember meeting just coming. Obviously, you've been hearing about all these news about or stories about cultism
mm,
and people recruiting for cultism and all that. On one occasion, that was the closest I came initially, my very first few years, a
mm,
few days. I saw a guy standing by one of the corridors. He was a much older guy,
mm,
but it wasn't like I was. They maybe and I think this is very important. They recruit people for different purposes. So some
mm,
people they will recruit for the handwork, like people will get muscle. Me, I didn't have any muscle then.
mm,
So people like us would be for, and I definitely did not have money. So
mm,
it wouldn't have been like I would be a financier. I think our
mm,
people will be like baits or hooks. I don't know. I don't know what they would be for. But I remember that he called me over and asking me, talking to me about being protected.
mm,
I knew immediately from what I've heard that it was about cultism,
mm,
and I scampered away. Thankfully, they didn't see me to be of any use to them,
mm,
and they left me alone. I don't know if scampering away would have worked for many people, other people, but I think definitely if you understand that this is not what you should be doing when you go to school,
mm,
it should help. You have to have given them. It be like say you could give them some kind of this and say I can do this or
mm.
I would like to do this,
Yeah.
and then they would see that as an inroad into your life. So that's the challenge that many people have. Uh, in this case, I don't know the story of this guy, but it's unfortunate that I read on the comment section that he's not been. I don't know if how true that is. He's not been even up to 6 days or six. They say 6 days, I think, in the court, and he
mm,
was killed. He was a new recruit.
mm.
That's what I'm getting, and he's been killed already. So to me, this is a waste of life.
Honestly, it's a real waste to life, and is that this news is coming from a reliable source as well. Um,
Mm.
so I think I could not go through. Let me see if I could go if I can go through the comment section and see if I can get any information reliable relating to how many days or old he is. You know.
Uh, I don't think
Uh,
they mentioned that, but one thing was clear, that
mm.
you know he's been quite just newish,
Well,
newish.
what I can say in that regard is, you know, when that also has to do with secondary school, because during the secondary school days, there are some certain kind of guys who wants to control others, and when they see opportunity to climb that ladder of control,
Mm.
they grabs it with both hands without knowing
Mm-hmm.
what it entails.
Absolutely.
So courtism is a really it's an endemic
Mm-hmm.
in our universities, which um nobody's really doing anything about it, because it's looking like the people who should have do something about it is part of it.
Obviously, looking at the history of courtism and the link they have with Wole Soyinka,
Mm,
uh, which is fraternity, then
mm,
it was set out to be a way to protect their fellow students,
mm.
and then it turned out to become this monster that has kept killing people over the years. It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, but at this
The
point in time,
at,
anybody who joins a cult
mm,
would know and tells me that they didn't know that a cult is dangerous and can kill.
I
And that
think
means,
that issue of linking Wole Soyinka to court,
mm,
it is not entirely true, because it is a contestable argument, because
mm,
Wole Soyinka time, the reason the reason behind those things was not actually to
mm,
control or to maybe to kill. I might be wrong, but from few time that I have listened to some of his interview, although I don't agree with all the things that he said, that
mm,
was not the purpose of court. Because the reason that they join they establish that thing is, it's like an arm against oppressive government, you know,
mm, mm.
which later turns out to become something else. And it look as if everybody points hand to Wole Soyinka. I don't think, I might be wrong,
Mm.
that that was the initial mindset of them setting
Uh,
up something like that.
there's no doubt the initial mindset was mainly to combat ills, societal ills.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, in the campus. They mentioned, for instance, on Wikipedia here,
Mm,
that uh, in those times uh, there was increasing tribalism
mm,
in the university, and also the increasing population of quote wealthy students to a
mm,
relatively few poorer students.
mm,
So these created some kind of imbalance in the
mm,
society, in the university. So they about 7 students, including Shoyinka himself,
mm,
started this to combat what they perceived as societal ills.
Mm.
Unfortunately, okay, for over 20 years, this thing continued. And then unfortunately, uh, it went out of hand. So, like you rightly said, is we're not blaming Soyinka for starting something devilish, that like with a
Mm.
devilish intention or something like that. He's just saying that the organization he started has gone on to be this way. Now, if we say the same thing about churches, for instance, it might also
Mm-hmm.
mean the same. Like somebody might say, yeah, churches that were started with good intention have become predominantly in many places
Yes.
where things happen that are not so good to
Yeah.
society. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you are right in saying that it's not an occasion to blame him. You know, it should be more of an occasion to introspect, to check how it went wrong, and then
Mm-hmm.
start looking at how to make it better.
Yes, because
Um,
if you look
mm,
if you look at some stories too that is coming out from churches,
yeah.
you will find out there are so many churches where you find out that the pastors has either killed a pregnant lady
Hmm.
or killed some babies and buried them on the foundation of the churches, and there are also atrocities. So
Absolutely.
is yeah, so Bolecho Yeka is that is his own word. He say he doesn't have any foreign religion, that he's a traditionalist.
Mm, 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 mm.
So those are the argument that we cannot say it has to be pinned to Wole Soyinka.
Yeah.
So that also bring me to one of the, as we try to round up this episode, if we can touch base on this other thing that I see, I
Okay.
want you to talk about. We kind of make it look like, what is the purpose of going to university in Nigeria? Can you
Study more.
compare the mindset of going to university within this society where we live
Mm,
and in Nigeria? Let me show you this story,
okay.
which I happened to come across, where one guy was saying, he said, somebody will go to, he says, only in Nigeria, a person wey finish for university go dey learn hard work from person wey no go primary school, and dem go flog person join am. So this kind of mentality and thinking throws up a lot of argument and the question, like, it seems like going to university has become something that has not been really is not really a defined, you know say, when you ask person, what is the purpose of going to university,
Mm,
in contrast to this society where we live.
mm.
What do you have to say about that, honorable?
Honorable, to be honest with you, some people might not like it when I say this, but I do actually think that university education is sometimes overrated, um, especially in some environment where uh, you look at it this way. Yeah, if
Yeah.
you are going to university and your plan for going to university is because you feel that after that, that's the key to unlocking everything that you ever need in life, I think
Mm,
it becomes overrated, because one of the mistakes that you would then tend to make is that you will go and study courses that doesn't necessarily need to go to university for. If you get some course where you say if you want do or if you get some kind of job where you say if you want do you no need university at all.
mm-hmm,
That's where I say it. Now, some other university, some of the jobs, if you want to do it, you must go to university. For instance, a doctor, even if you pass by somebody naturally and then the person where you pass by the person gets healed, you
mm,
can never function as a doctor in
mm-hmm,
society, in modern society, because you need some license, right?
mm,
Those licenses can only be given to you when you after you tick some points in the
mm,
formal university education.
mm-hmm,
That's how it works. If you move by people and they get healed, go and start church. Now, on the other hand, if you want to, there's some jobs that if you want to do, you need to make sure that you. Sorry, my young man came here.
okay.
Just a minute. Yeah, Dylan, you want to say hello to viewers? with your this thing.
Hello, Jaden.
Hmm. So there are some other courses that if you want to make sure, if you're doing them, you need to make sure you don't need university to do
Mm.
those ones. You can just go straight to doing what you want to do. So now I think that's where the problem starts. And that's where if you look at this thing, it says for people that don't understand pidgin, it says only in Nigeria, somebody that went to university, somebody that finished university will be learning handwork from someone who only went to primary school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and those people will still be flogged. The people that the university people, the university graduates will still be flogged while trying to learn.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're saying. So think about it this way: if that thing that you want to go and do, what you want to go and learn,
Mm.
it doesn't have anything to do with your university degree,
Mm.
then yeah, obviously I'm not saying flogging people, whether they are is something they studied or not, should be
Mm.
condoned. But I'm just
Mm.
trying to say that if there's any punishment that should be given someone normally,
Mm.
if people are flogged when they're learning, the fact that you went to university doesn't change anything. If it's not something that you learn, that's where I guess that's where I'm taking it to.
Okay. If I will just chip in a little bit in this, because there is this mindset. I don't know if it's predominantly in our own society where we believe that once you have gone to university and acquire university degree, then that makes the person different from maybe a a trader, or maybe somebody who is a carpenter on the street. And that is where this type of mindset is coming for this person who put this thing up to say is only in Nigeria, which you can see that this kind of thing will continue to go around in our society where people have had their minds skewed about going to university. Because going to university for 4 years is like going to learn a trade.
Absolutely.
Maybe you go to university to learn how to be, they put it with a big English, say a mechanical engineer for 4 years. And the other guy went to a mechanic workshop
Mm,
and learned how to fix engines for 4 years.
yeah,
This person will finish and know how to do the job. And this other person will have a certificate and will still require him to go back to that mechanic workshop to do a practical hands-on.
absolutely.
Now, he or she will feel that because he has gone to university, he will have more respect
Mm,
than the person who, that is this type, this person is putting up this post with this type of mindset that he has acquired degree. So therefore, the person who is flogging him, who went to primary school, is less than him,
you're right.
which
You're
is
right.
a very, very, very bad mindset that our people should start to wake up from.
You're right.
You going to university is does not have anything to do with anything. It's just like you have gone to learn a trade.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to university to learn how to be a doctor, how
Mm,
to be a lawyer, how to be an accountant, how to be a mechanic, how to be a bricklayer, how to
mm,
do drawing, which they call technical college call it technical drawing.
yeah.
University call it architect. You
Architect.
see.
Yeah.
So it's high time we stop, because with this type of mindset, that's why somebody will come up instead of keep your certificate somewhere and get your hands dirty and put food on the table.
I.
Our
Mm.
Go on.
I want to say that I guess the only time I will see reason with what this person is saying is if the matter being discussed fulfills two conditions. One, is the same topic that they're discussing, and two, they're discussing the theory of that topic.
Mm-hmm.
So then I will be siding a bit of I will be kind of siding the person that said this. I will explain. If they are the same matter being discussed, if it's the same topic or
Mm-hmm.
even subtopic,
Yeah.
then and on top of that, they are discussing the theory. Because what happens is that university education tends to teach you the theory, tends to
Mm-hmm.
teach you the reason things are done,
Mm-hmm.
the whys, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to the hows.
Mm-hmm.
The practical the person when not go primary school but knew how to do it, that
Mm-hmm.
person could know how to do it. But sometimes the discussion now goes beyond how because of maybe some problems that came up or whatever. You've tried the how, it didn't work. That's
Mm-hmm.
where or there's a need to explain the why, for instance. And then the person that went to university is explaining the why
Mm-hmm.
theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
The person that went to primary school who does not know the why is
But know the
saying this
how.
is how we do it,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what usually happens. They say this is that's what they do. That's
So
what they do.
I think you have in this scenario that you just painted now, you have two half baked
Mm.
professional
Yep.
because the person who has gone to university to do theory
Yeah.
does not have knowledge of how,
Bernie.
which for him or for he or she to be certified,
Mm.
he has to get the knowledge of the other side.
Absolutely.
And if you come from the person who know how, that person has upper hand because many of the times problem just need to be fixed. And
Yep.
that is the reason doctors, obviously I don't know the way they do it in Nigeria, in the UK here, and the nurses, you go to hospital 75% of the time you are in university and be a student nurse,
Mm.
student doctor.
Mm.
So that while you are taking 25% to know the whys,
Mm.
you are using 75% to know the hows.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But at least there's a space to know the how, the whys,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
There's a provision to learn the whys.
mhm,
The person that went to obviously I am assuming that when he says the person that went to primary school, we assume that the
mhm,
person had gone and learnt the thing that they're talking
mhm,
about,
mhm,
learn it just by practice, but
mhm,
without knowing the theory about that thing.
mhm,
Uh, so it's very important, like you said, to have the two of them, the whys and the hows.
mm.
Uh, and the fact is, for the most part, in practical situations, the hows that's what matters for many people. You
Mm.
only run into problems with the house when something doesn't work as expected.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then it starts becoming a problem. At that point, you need to have theory on your hand. You need to have a knowledge of theory to be able to. You understand? So that's
So
where it becomes more complicated. So I would say both of them might not be wrong until we get more information. The person will finish for university needs to show that they know how to do that thing, not just because you went to university. You expect that you know everything about that. The person when no go primary school need to also show that they know how the whys, why some things are done.
well, it will be very easy for the person who know the how to know the whys because most of the time the solution, the result, most of the time lies in the house. So So
No,
for
you know why
me,
why I don't want to just keep it on the house, for instance. I mean, for many things in life, for some
mhm,
things, the house are not enough. I always, for instance, in healthcare, many people die in healthcare in in places like Nigeria, for instance,
mhm,
because people who learn this thing is blocking your face, honorable. Uh, people who learn do not know learn the whys mainly.
mm,
They learn the how and they keep it there. So during surgery, for instance, they know that you use the knife, cut them, enter there. This one go happen. You understand? But they
mm,
don't know that this is this is why this one happened, which will now necessitate you to learn even more.
mm,
So it comes with research and development. That's in fact the whole thing we're talking about now is based on research and development. That's the core of research and development. Know the whys. Research and development focuses on why. Why does this happen? Okay, when this has happened, when you've learned this, what if we do this? Why would it happen this way? It continues answering why questions. We already know the how before. How why the how stops at a particular point. I know how to fix a tire, but research and development will now ask you to do it in other ways. You now get to a point where I say, okay, because air is trapped this way, you can now do another kind of tire that is not steel tire, the type of tube tire that we used to use before. I'm just giving an example.
mhm.
So the world revolves with the why. It's just that the how solves the immediate problem that you have. But what pushes technology, what pushes development is the why.
Well, honorable, in this case, is looking as if we are going to come to the end of today's episode, and we are going to vote on this issue.
Okay.
And in this case, what is your, is it a nay that a university graduate will have to be a boss
Mm.
of a primary school certificate holder who knows how to do the job? What is your take? Is it a nay or or I?
I'll be in the middle because some factors it's depending on some factors. Some factors that I mentioned before. If the
Mm,
university student shows that they know how to, not just, and they don't expect that just because they went to university, everything done honky dory,
mm,
fine. On the other hand, if the primary school person when they go primary school knows and understands that there's more to learn, not just the one they know already, there's a question to answer about why this thing behaves this way and what we can do to improve it. For instance, that's that's space for research and development, and that's what drives growth. So once both of them are in that space, then I'm fine with them. It will be a year for me. For now, it's a year.
um from, if I will take it from the mentality, from the angle of an average Nigerian graduate, it's a, it's an eye for me.
Mm,
Yes, because if you take it from world view,
mm,
from other community which doesn't place much importance on university certificate, yeah, I will say I will be on the other side. But from the angle of average graduate in our community,
mm,
I will say yes, it's a I for me. So on this note, honorable,
mm-hmm.
we'll bring today's episode to to end. And what do you have for our viewers?
Oh, viewers, thanks very much for hanging around and being with us till the end of this episode. For now, we'll go on much deserved recess. We'll be back soon.
All right, we'll see you viewers. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.